Hello, Hannah the Suburban Witch here, and today I'm going to be talking about the astrological housing system. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at each of the 12 houses as you know them in the Placidus tropical system. If you're new to my channel, I'm Hannah the Suburban Witch, an intuitive tarot reader and astrologer, and I love bringing you witchy content here on YouTube every single Wednesday. You can also find me over on TikTok, Facebook, Patreon, Instagram, and also on my website suburbanwitchery.com, where I have a blog. Okay, so this is a little more in-depth than some of my other zodiac videos, and I hope you can follow along. What we're going to be doing is looking at the zodiac wheel, and then right in the middle we see these 12 houses. What are they and what do they mean? Basically, these houses are areas of your life. So they all have a specific area that they encompass and things that they involve. Now, when you get a natal chart reading, what you will see is often we have planets falling into different houses. So what happens is we have a planet that was in a certain location in your chart. Now, with the Placidus tropical system, the houses and the sizes of those houses is going to take into account the location of where you were born. Sometimes I'll do a chart for someone way up at the top of Canada, and I'll notice that their housing system is really strange looking. So what we can see is often a really big house at one end and a really tiny little house at another end, and that's based on that latitude and longitude of where they were born. The closer we are to the equator, the more equal these houses look on a natal chart. Now, the first house is always going to be dictated by your rising sign. Your rising sign is the exact time of birth on the day that you were born. So there is a change in rising sign approximately every 2 and a bit hours, and you actually change degree of that rising sign every 4 minutes. That's why we need a really accurate birth time to get all of your houses right and all of your chart right. So the very beginning of that first house is going to be your rising sign, and that whole first house is all about your identity, your appearance, and what you're here to physically do, the role you're here to play in this life. I often say the rising sign is what you grow into as you age. Then we go into your second house. The second house is the house of values, money, possessions, that sort of thing. Now, each of these houses are also ruled by a zodiac sign. The first sign is Aries, so that first house is ruled by Aries. The second is ruled by Taurus. So if you understand the zodiac and the meaning behind each of those zodiac signs, you're going to have a lot easier time learning what the houses are as well. You'll see very similar themes coming across. So then we go to the third house, and the third house is about social networking, friendship circles, that sort of thing, how we communicate and how we learn. The third house is ruled by Gemini. So again, Gemini's ruler is Mercury. So if Mercury is in your third house in Gemini, then it is at home in its homeliest home place. It's very happy there. That's going to be its truest expression. So each of the planets falling into each of the houses is going to bring a different flavor or a different feeling to this area of your life. The fourth house is our house of home and family. So this is all about where you live, how you feel comfortable, your financial and home stability and security as well. If you have your moon in this area, for example, the fourth house is ruled by Cancer, which is also ruled by the moon, so that would be its home placement. And that would mean that your emotions are strongly attached to your feeling of security or safety in your home environment and your financial environment. So if your finances are on the rocks, you're going to be feeling that really deeply with your emotions. It's going to make it really rocky for you. Or if you're not sure where you're going to be living next, that's another thing that's going to really rock you around. The fifth house is ruled by Leo, and that's all about creativity, fun, and children as well. In some types of astrology, they use this house to determine when and how many children you may have. That's not the style that I do. That's more of the Eastern astrology. But it can still tell us so much that we'd want to know about what you want to bring into the world, what feels fun for you, and what you enjoy doing. Then we go to the 6th house. This one is ruled by Virgo, and this one is all about your daily routine, your health and your wellness as well. If you want to be on top of your health, you want to be looking at this house and any transits that go through here, also any placements that you have in this area. If you have a lot of placements within this house, sometimes that might mean you may have some health issues already in your life, or even some digestive issues, since Virgo rules this house and Virgo rules the digestive system. Then we go to the 7th house, and the 7th house is the house of relationships. So this is your intimate relationships, not always just the person you'll marry or the person that you'll be in love with, but it's also the really close relationships that you form with people around you as well. The 7th house is ruled by Libra, and it's often about making sure other people feel happy rather than focusing on ourselves. The 8th house is ruled by Scorpio, and this house is all about business, taxes, shadow work, and sex as well. If you have your Jupiter in the 8th house, I often say you're going to be really good at strategizing and business or running your own business, and you're going to really love it. You're also probably going to really find joy in things that are hidden or occult-like as well. The 9th house is ruled by Sagittarius. This is an expansive house. This is one of travel, of growth. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. It's all big things and good luck and happy vibes. This one can also tell us what we enjoy diving into, what interests us as well. The 10th house is very important. This is our career house. This one is ruled by Capricorn, and this often tells us how we're supposed to work through life and what we're supposed to do with our career. So it gives us the vibe. The 10th house in the Placidus system often goes over 2 signs. So you may get 2 different vibes into your career. So for example, you may have Scorpio and Sagittarius on as part of your 10th house. Then we have the 11th house. Now this is the house of community. So this can be the wider community if you're a member of a church or a coven or a dance group or things like that. So that's your wider acquaintances and group, maybe your workplace acquaintances, that sort of thing as well. But it can also just mean your friendship circle, a bit bigger than the 3rd house friendship circle that we talked about earlier. The 11th house can also be what you might identify with in terms of if you're part of the LGBTQI plus community or the BIPOC community or those sorts of things, and standing up for what you believe in and doing what is right or being an ally. This is all about things that make us want to revolutionize, things that we want to go against the grain and make things right. And then the 12th house is ruled by Pisces. And of course, that's the spiritual house. This can also be the house of karma, of death, of things that are hidden, but definitely spirituality is the main vibe here. So hopefully this introduction to the houses and what they mean gives you a little bit of insight into how reading an astrological natal chart works and what you can find out from it. If you are interested, please have a look at my shop below. I do sell these astrological reports for you. You just need your exact birth time, date, and location for me to do so. I look forward to working with you, and I'll chat to you next time. Bye.